Chinese President Xi Jinping has announced $51 billion of financing, fresh financing for Africa during the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation Summit in Beijing.
Well, the $785 million bridge is China's biggest project in Mozambique yet, and it's part of a wider and larger 200-kilometer road network.
China is all set to reshape Africa's economic and infrastructural landscape, driving development at an unprecedented scale. From massive railways stretching across vast landscapes to towering skyscrapers rising in newly constructed capitals, China's influence is felt in nearly every corner of the continent. These bold initiatives, funded and executed by Chinese companies, promise to unlock Africa's vast potential, offering opportunities for economic growth, job creation, and modernization. However, with such transformative projects come both challenges and opportunities that could alter Africa's trajectory for generations to come. Fasten your seatbelts as we explore China's mega projects that are changing Africa's future. Let's get started. Number 10. Maputo-Katembe Bridge in Maputo Bay. The Maputo-Katembe Bridge is redefining Mozambique's infrastructure landscape. Stretching over 3 kilometers, it is, so far, Africa's longest suspension bridge, connecting the bustling capital city of Maputo to the Katembe district across the bay. This suspension bridge, with its towering pylons and intricate cable design, is a symbol of modern engineering and design capabilities. The total cost of the bridge was approximately $785 million. A significant portion of this financing came from China, particularly from the China Road and Bridge Corporation, which managed both the construction and technical aspects of the project. China's involvement is part of the broader trend of Chinese investments in Africa. The bridge took 4 years to complete, with construction beginning in 2014 and concluding in 2018. The engineering challenges involved in building such a massive structure in a coastal environment, combined with Mozambique's weather and geographic conditions, made this a highly ambitious project. Before the completion of the bridge, the only way to cross Maputo Bay was by ferry, a slow, unreliable method of transportation that often took several hours to traverse the water. This was particularly problematic during peak hours and bad weather, severely limiting mobility between the capital city and the Katembe district. The Maputo-Katembe Bridge has drastically improved the situation. The drastic time saving has had profound effects on commerce, commuting, and tourism in the region. The bridge is designed to handle up to 1,500 vehicles per hour, facilitating the smooth flow of traffic and providing a much-needed upgrade to Maputo's transportation network. This increase in capacity allows for better connectivity, not only for locals, but also for goods and services moving between Maputo and the broader Maputo province. One of the most significant impacts of the bridge is the boost to economic development. By improving accessibility, it has opened up new avenues for business, tourism, and investment in the once isolated Katembe district. According to economic projections, the bridge is expected to contribute to an estimated 3% increase in Maputo's GDP, a notable impact in a developing country. Beyond just benefiting the local population, the bridge plays a critical role in promoting broader regional integration within Mozambique. By connecting the capital with one of its most important districts, the bridge strengthens the urban-rural linkages essential for national growth and cohesion. Additionally, the bridge has contributed to the development of tourism. The stunning views from the bridge and its proximity to tourist attractions in Maputo have made it a new focal point for visitors to the city. This influx of tourists contributes directly to the local economy and enhances Mozambique's position as a tourist destination in southern Africa. However, building such a massive structure in a coastal region was no small feat. The bridge had to be designed to withstand the harsh coastal conditions, including saltwater corrosion, strong winds, and heavy rain. To ensure the longevity and stability of the bridge, the engineers had to use special materials and construction techniques. While large-scale infrastructure projects like the Maputo-Katembe Bridge can have environmental consequences, such as potential disruptions to local ecosystems, careful planning and environmental assessments were conducted to mitigate these effects. Efforts were made to balance development with the protection of the surrounding natural habitat. The bridge is more than just a stunning example of modern civil engineering. It is a transformative infrastructure project that has the potential to redefine the economic, social, and cultural fabric of Mozambique. But this is just one example, out of many, of projects transforming Africa. Number 9. Caculo Cabaça hydropower project in Angola. Located on the mighty Kwanza River in Angola, the Caculo Cabaça hydropower project is set to become one of the most powerful and transformative energy projects in southern Africa. As a monumental hydropower dam, the project is poised to generate 2,972 megawatts of electricity, more than double Angola's current installed energy capacity. This will significantly enhance the country's energy supply, addressing a critical issue that has hindered economic growth and development in Angola for decades. Beyond powering homes and industries within Angola, the dam has the potential to transform the country into a regional energy hub. The surplus electricity produced will be exported to neighboring nations, including Namibia and South Africa, helping to stabilize energy supplies in the southern African region. This strategic expansion of energy production can strengthen regional trade and economic integration, while helping to meet the growing energy demands of neighboring countries. The Caculo Cabaça hydropower project has a price tag of $4.5 billion. This financing is primarily provided by China's Development Bank. The project is being constructed by China Gachuba Group, a construction giant renowned for its work on the Three Gorges Dam in China, one of the largest and most complex hydropower projects in the world. This expertise will ensure the project benefits from cutting-edge technology and construction methodologies that are crucial to such large-scale infrastructure. Construction of the dam is a labor-intensive process that involves a workforce of over 10,000 workers. This scale of employment is expected to provide significant local economic benefits, contributing to job creation and skill development in the region. One of the major challenges faced by the project team is the rugged terrain around the Kwanza River. The project site is located in an area with limited infrastructure, which has required the construction of access roads and facilities to support the dam's development. The difficult terrain has made the transportation of heavy equipment and materials a complex task, but these challenges have been overcome with innovative solutions and specialized machinery. The relatively remote location of the dam site also posed logistical challenges in terms of sourcing materials, ensuring consistent supply chains, and maintaining a steady flow of construction. Overcoming these challenges required significant coordination and resources, highlighting the scale of the undertaking. Moreover, as with any large-scale hydropower project, the Caculo Cabaça Dam will have significant environmental implications. The dam will flood a vast area of land, which could lead to the displacement of communities and affect local wildlife and ecosystems. While hydropower is a cleaner alternative to fossil fuels, it still has potential consequences for the environment, including habitat destruction and changes to water quality and flow. The government and developers must work with local communities to minimize displacement and ensure that those affected are properly resettled with access to essential services such as healthcare, education, and housing. Overall, though, this dam is going to be a game changer. Well, the same can also be said about this next one. Number 8. Soubré Hydroelectric Power Station in Ivory Coast. Located on the powerful Kavala River, the Soubré Hydroelectric Power Station in Ivory Coast represents a strategic step forward for Ivory Coast in terms of sustainable energy development. The dam has a generating capacity of 275 megawatts, enough to provide electricity for more than 200,000 homes. This energy output positions the dam as a critical player in the national grid, particularly important as Ivory Coast's energy demands continue to rise alongside its economic development. The dam has allowed the country to significantly reduce its dependence on electricity imports, which were previously sourced from neighboring nations. The project cost approximately $572 million. A remarkable 85% of this financing was provided by China's Export-Import Bank. Building the dam came with its fair share of challenges, particularly due to the difficult terrain and the heavy rainfall typical in the region. These weather conditions made construction particularly complex, as the team had to deal with fluctuating water levels, mudslides, and other geological concerns. However, with sophisticated engineering techniques, the project was completed on schedule in 2017. Before the dam's completion, Ivory Coast faced an energy crisis, relying heavily on energy imports from neighboring nations like Ghana and Burkina Faso. The dam's construction has enabled the country to break free from these dependencies. Moreover, the export potential of electricity from the dam could be a game changer for Ivory Coast. As the nation begins to generate more power than it consumes, it can now look to export surplus energy, potentially positioning Ivory Coast as an energy hub in West Africa. The dam has enabled Ivory Coast to meet its growing electricity demands, which are crucial for sustaining the rapid urbanization and industrialization the country has experienced in recent decades. The improved power supply is a boon for businesses, healthcare, education, and other key sectors that rely on stable electricity for their operations. While the Soubré Dam offers many economic and technological benefits, it also carries some environmental and social challenges, as is typical with large-scale hydroelectric projects. Dams can have a significant impact on local ecosystems, altering water flows and affecting biodiversity. Communities living near the dam were also impacted. Despite these issues, the Ivory Coast government and China have made efforts to minimize negative outcomes. Overall, the project is a big success. Number 7. Port of Bagamoyo in Tanzania. The Port of Bagamoyo in Tanzania is one of the most ambitious infrastructure endeavors in East Africa and comes with a staggering $10 billion projected cost. The Port of Bagamoyo is strategically located just 75 kilometers north of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania's current commercial hub. This positioning offers an efficient alternative to Dar es Salaam, which has become increasingly congested and is limited in its capacity to handle rising trade volumes. Once completed, the port is expected to handle an impressive 20 million TEU or 20-foot equivalent units annually. This capacity far exceeds that of the current largest port in East Africa, the Port of Mombasa, which processes significantly fewer containers. The projected capacity of Bagamoyo would be 7 times the volume of Mombasa. The Port of Bagamoyo will be a game changer for not only Tanzania, but for the entire East African region. With the ability to handle massive volumes of goods, the port will serve as a gateway for landlocked countries such as Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi, which currently rely heavily on ports in Kenya and other neighboring countries to access global markets. The development of Bagamoyo will dramatically enhance East Africa's connectivity to international markets. This enhanced logistical efficiency will help reduce shipping times and costs for countries in the region, fostering greater economic integration. The port will streamline the flow of goods, allowing East African nations to participate more effectively in global trade, especially in sectors like agriculture, mining, and manufacturing. The projected increase in trade volume could lead to massive economic growth, not just for Tanzania, but for its neighbors as well. As the port of Bagamoyo serves as a transit point for landlocked nations, it could create new economic opportunities in these countries, including in trade, transportation, and manufacturing industries. Moreover, this could stimulate growth in Tanzania's economy, particularly in the logistics and shipping sectors. The development of the Port of Bagamoyo is primarily financed by China Merchants Port, a state-owned Chinese company with vast experience in global port operations. This company has a strong track record in developing and managing major port infrastructure projects around the world, including key terminals in China, the Middle East, and Africa. The Tanzanian government and developers have also outlined various environmental management plans to mitigate the potential damage caused by the port's construction. These plans will include measures to protect local biodiversity, manage water quality, and ensure the sustainable use of coastal resources. Like many large infrastructure projects, Port of Bagamoyo will also face social challenges. The development may lead to the displacement of local communities, particularly those living in coastal areas that may be directly impacted by the port's construction. There is a need for comprehensive resettlement programs. Number 6. Lagos-Ibadan Railway in Nigeria. The Lagos-Ibadan Railway in Nigeria is a 156 kilometers standard gauge railway line that connects Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital, to Ibadan, one of the country's most populous and historically significant cities. The construction of the railway was undertaken by the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, which is known for its expertise in large-scale infrastructure projects. With a hefty price tag of $1.5 billion, the railway project was completed in 2021 after enduring several delays. Despite these setbacks, the railway now provides a reliable and modern transport route between two of Nigeria's most economically vital cities. Before the construction of the new railway line, travel between Lagos and Ibadan by road could take several hours. With the new railway system, the journey time has been drastically reduced to just over 2 hours. The trains run at speeds of up to 150 kilometers per hour, making the travel faster, more comfortable, and more reliable than ever. One of the most significant aspects of the Lagos-Ibadan railway is its upgrade from the old narrow-gauge railway, which dates back to the colonial period. The narrow gauge was notorious for being slow, inefficient, and prone to frequent breakdowns, making it ill-suited for modern transport needs. In contrast, the standard gauge railway is designed for higher speeds and smoother operation, offering a much more reliable alternative. By improving transportation between Lagos and Ibadan, two major economic hubs, the railway has enhanced the movement of goods, services, and people. This efficiency is reducing transportation costs and improving supply chain logistics, which can foster economic growth. The project faced several delays during its construction, partly due to logistical challenges and the need for financing. Despite these setbacks, the railway has been successfully completed and is now an operational asset that benefits millions of Nigerians. As the first major upgrade to Nigeria's railway infrastructure in decades, the Lagos-Ibadan Railway serves as a pioneering model for future railway development across the country. If the succeeding Lagos-Kano project proceeds as planned, it could be a game-changer for Nigeria's economy by reducing transportation bottlenecks, stimulating trade, and making goods movement more cost-effective. Furthermore, it could lay the groundwork for the development of even more expansive railway networks that integrate regional markets across West Africa. Number 5. Tazara Railway Project in Tanzania. The Tazara Railway, also as the Tanzam Railway or Freedom Railway, stretches over 1,860 kilometers and is the longest railway in sub-Saharan Africa. It connects the port of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania to the landlocked country of Zambia, playing a critical role in facilitating trade and transportation across the region. The railway is constructed with a 1,067mm gauge, standard for many railways in Africa. This design choice aligns with local transportation norms, enabling it to seamlessly integrate with existing railway systems in both Tanzania and Zambia. The Tazara Railway is jointly owned by the governments of Tanzania and Zambia. This partnership also involves significant Chinese support. The construction of the railway was made possible through a deal signed in Beijing on September 5, 1967. The Tazara Railway stands as China's first and largest building project in Africa, cementing China's position as a key player in the continent's infrastructure development. The project was designed to help Zambia bypass colonial-era railway routes controlled by southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, and South Africa, which limited the landlocked country's ability to access the sea. For Tanzania, the railway has been a vital link to international markets, while for Zambia, it has provided an alternative route for transporting copper, a key export. This has enhanced regional trade, fostered economic growth, and provided a key outlet for Zambia's mineral resources to reach global markets. The construction of the railway was a monumental feat, with China providing substantial technical expertise, labor, and financing. At the time, the project represented China's deepening engagement with African countries. By linking Dar es Salaam, one of the largest and busiest ports in East Africa, to Zambia, the railway has made the Tanzanian port a key trade hub in the region. It has allowed Zambia to export minerals like copper more efficiently and import various goods and raw materials. This trade boost has strengthened both nations' economies, and the Tazara Railway continues to be integral to Zambia's copper exports. Over the years, the railway has faced challenges, including maintenance issues and the need for modernization. Though it has been instrumental in the growth of both nations, the railway has struggled with efficiency and service reliability in recent decades. The line often requires upgrades to meet the demands of growing trade and travel. The Tazara Railway also symbolizes the growing Chinese influence in Africa, with China continuing to expand its infrastructure footprint across the continent. Number 4. Kenya Standard Gauge Railway in Kenya. Commonly known as the Mombasa-Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway, the Kenya Standard Gauge Railway is a heavy rail line operated by Kenya Railways Corporation. The railway's construction was overseen by China Road and Bridge Corporation, with an estimated project value of $3.6 billion. The railway spans 480 kilometers, connecting Mombasa, the country's main port city, to Nairobi, the capital and largest city. The line is used for both freight and passenger transportation, boosting the country's transport infrastructure. The railway was initially designed to run from Mombasa to Nairobi, with a subsequent $1.5 billion extension project that started in 2019, expanding the railway from Nairobi to Naivasha, which adds an additional 108 kilometers to the total route. This brings the overall length to 588 kilometers. The project officially began in 2013, with major construction activities starting in 2014. The line was originally set to be operational in 2017, although delays pushed the actual operational start to 2018. This railroad is a part of China's broader commitment to infrastructure development on the continent, driven by initiatives such as the Belt and Road Initiative. Before this project, transportation between Mombasa and Nairobi was dominated by road transport, which was inefficient, slow, and subject to frequent congestion. The Mombasa-Nairobi standard gauge railway provides a faster, more reliable mode of transport, with trains capable of reaching speeds of up to 120 kilometers per hour. The standard gauge railway has been designed to stimulate Kenya's economic growth, particularly by improving freight transportation. It offers a more efficient route for goods moving between Mombasa's port, one of East Africa's busiest ports, and the interior of Kenya, as well as landlocked Central Africa. The improved logistics also support trade and regional connectivity, making the railway a vital part of Kenya's economic infrastructure. The railway provides comfortable and reliable transportation for passengers, reducing travel time significantly. The journey that once took upwards of 12 hours by road now takes approximately 4 to 5 hours, making it a popular choice for travelers. Number 3. Kilamba New City Project in Angola. The Kilamba New City Project in Angola is one of the most ambitious post-war urban development initiatives in Africa. Constructed by the China International Trust and Investment Corporation, the city is a significant part of Angola's post-war construction efforts. The goal was to create a modern satellite town located away from Luanda, the capital, to help alleviate the overburdened urban center and provide residents with modern housing and facilities. The city is built across a vast area of 12,355 acres and is designed to accommodate 500,000 residents. The infrastructure includes 758 residential buildings, schools, and retail outlets, providing a comprehensive environment for modern living. The Kilamba New City Project is part of a broader effort to rebuild Angola after the end of its lengthy civil war. Angola's civil conflict, which lasted from 1975 to 2002, devastated much of the country's infrastructure and left millions of people without adequate housing. This project was part of the government's initiative to rapidly urbanize and modernize its capital region and provide a better living environment for citizens. As a part of China's broader investment in Africa, the project exemplifies China's involvement in African urban development under initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative. The city was designed to offer a high standard of living and includes modern housing with high-rise residential buildings, schools, retail shops, and public services, creating a self-sustaining community away from the congestion of Luanda. The infrastructure is built to international standards, featuring wide roads, public spaces, and necessary urban facilities, making it an attractive option for new homeowners. The project's housing developments were designed to enable a significant portion of the population to become homeowners. With a focus on modern living conditions, these developments aim to address the severe housing shortage in Angola, where many citizens lived in informal settlements or under inadequate conditions before the construction of Kilamba. However, the project has faced significant challenges. The city has often been referred to as a ghost town due to the lack of occupancy in the early years. Many of the residential units were completed before sufficient demand was generated, and the city struggled to attract residents. The urbanization efforts faced difficulties due to a mismatch between the development's rapid pace and the ability of people to afford new homes. The Kilamba New City was built to be a self-contained urban environment, But without adequate job opportunities and local infrastructure development, many of its intended residents could not afford to live there. This has led to issues of under-occupation, with many buildings remaining vacant despite the significant investment in the infrastructure. The project has nevertheless contributed to Angola's urbanization, particularly by providing modern housing and infrastructure that were previously lacking. It is a step forward in addressing Angola's long-standing housing challenges, though the city's growth has been slower than expected. With its $3.5 billion price tag, this new city represents an incredible investment in infrastructure and housing. However, the project's struggles with under-occupancy and the label of a ghost town highlight the challenges in designing cities that are not only physically well-equipped, but also economically viable and attractive to residents. While Kilamba New City might not yet have lived up to all its expectations, it remains a significant example of China's role in the African development landscape and a symbol of Angola's efforts to build a modern future. If successfully integrated into the broader economic and social fabric of Angola, it could serve as a model for future urban projects across the continent. Speaking of new capitals, Angola is not the only one looking for options. Number 2. New capital city in Egypt. Located in the eastern desert near Cairo, the new capital city of Egypt is one of the most ambitious urban development projects in the country. This $45 billion initiative is being heavily funded and supported by China, marking a significant step in Egypt's modernization and addressing the nation's growing population. The city is being constructed in the eastern desert of Cairo, strategically positioned to alleviate congestion in Egypt's current capital and create a new hub for administrative, political, and economic activities. The new capital covers an approximate area of 45 square kilometers, which is the same size as Singapore, making it one of the largest urban development projects in Africa and the Middle East. The project began in 2016, with construction progressing steadily. The initial phases were scheduled to open in December 2021, though delays have impacted this timeline, and the full project completion is expected to extend beyond the initial deadlines. The construction of the new capital city aims to address the needs of Egypt's rapidly growing population. The city's design is intended to accommodate the doubling of Cairo's population by 2050. The new city will serve as the administrative and political hub of Egypt, relocating key government ministries and offices from Cairo. This move is intended to reduce congestion and traffic in the capital while improving efficiency and governance. China has played a pivotal role in the development of the new capital city, both through financial investments and construction expertise. Chinese companies have been instrumental in building critical infrastructure, such as roads, buildings, and skyscrapers. One of the most notable Chinese contributions to the project is the 20-tower skyscraper complex in the city's central business district, which was built by the China State Construction Engineering Corps. The new capital city project has already created thousands of jobs, both in construction and in future services and businesses. It is expected to be a significant driver of economic growth in the region. The city's development will feature state-of-the-art public transport systems, residential areas, business districts, shopping centers, and other amenities, making it an attractive destination for both businesses and residents. The new capital aims to become a smart city, integrating the latest technologies in urban planning. With new housing projects and commercial zones, the new capital city is expected to experience significant demand for real estate, which could lead to a boom in Egypt's property sector. However, as with any large-scale urban project, there are concerns about the environmental impact. The development team is focusing on sustainable building practices and green spaces to ensure the city is environmentally friendly and can accommodate Egypt's climate. Some local communities may be affected by the relocation to the new capital city. The government is addressing these challenges through social programs and resettlement plans to ensure that displaced families and individuals have access to new homes and opportunities. While the project was initially set to open in December 2021, delays have impacted its timeline. These delays are attributed to a variety of factors, including financial challenges, logistical issues, and the complexity of the infrastructure being developed. Despite the backing of China, the sheer scale of the project presents financial challenges. The Egyptian government must balance its investment in the new capital city with its other priorities, including poverty reduction, economic stability, and addressing infrastructure gaps in other regions. Once completed, the new capital city is expected to become an economic powerhouse, driving growth and attracting foreign investment. Well, China is transforming the global south, isn't it? When these investments pay off, it will be a huge payday for all involved. Speaking of investments that will pay off, here's another one. Number 1. Tébessa phosphate plant in Algeria. The Tébessa phosphate plant in Algeria is a $6 billion project being developed in partnership with China. The Algerian government owns a 51% stake, while the remaining 49% is held by Chinese stakeholders. On November 26, 2018, Algeria and China signed an agreement to construct the phosphate plant in Tébessa, located in northeastern Algeria. The project was initially slated for completion by 2022. However, delays have affected the timeline, and the final completion date is uncertain. The primary goal of the Tébessa phosphate plant is to significantly increase phosphate production in Algeria, which is a critical raw material for fertilizer production. Algeria hopes to use this increased production capacity to become the world's third largest fertilizer exporter. The Tébessa phosphate plant project has already created significant local employment, providing over 14,600 jobs to residents of the region. Algeria holds significant reserves of phosphate and natural gas, and the Tébessa phosphate plant is central to the country's strategy to enhance its natural resource sector. By leveraging its phosphate reserves, Algeria hopes to bolster its position as a global supplier of fertilizers. China's involvement in the Tébessa phosphate plant is part of its broader strategy to deepen its engagement with African nations through economic partnerships and infrastructure projects. However, large-scale mining projects like the Tébessa phosphate plant often face scrutiny over their environmental impact, particularly in terms of water usage, waste management, and potential soil degradation. Algeria and China are expected to implement measures to mitigate environmental risks and ensure the plant operates sustainably. The creation of thousands of jobs has positive social implications, but the plant's long-term impact on the local community, including its contribution to improved infrastructure and local services, will depend on its successful operation and integration into the broader Algerian economy. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? If you did, please consider liking, dropping a comment, and hitting the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on our new uploads. Also, don't miss this video you see on your screen right now. It's truly unbelievable.